We are here with Martin Jacobson, the newly crowned winner of the 2014 World Series of Poker main event. We're happy to have you with us, Martin. Welcome to Cardplayer Lifestyle.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. So it's been a little over a week since you won the big one. How are you feeling? What have you been up to?
Well, I'm still trying to process things. What really happened? Since the final table, I stayed in Vegas a few days, longer than planned. But on Sunday, just a few days ago, I took a flight over to LA to visit my buddy who lives here, just to sort of relax and
Nice. Just chill, I guess, right?
Yeah, chill. Still taking care of some interviews and whatnot, but no poker in the near future.
I think you've had enough poker for a while, right?
I would like to think so, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about Sweden. You're Swedish. Have you received any sort of recognition in Sweden for this amazing achievement? Maybe you got a phone call from the king or the prime minister or someone famous, congratulated you?
Not really. I've had a few Facebook messages, and from people who just wants to say congrats and that they were watching and they're proud to be Swedish and what I achieved and whatnot. So that's really fun.
Okay.
And I also got some invitations for big media and TV shows in Sweden.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Maybe the Nobel Prize presentations?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, well, further on Sweden, specifically at the final table, and obviously even more so now that you're champion, you, to a certain extent, you represent Sweden. So what does that sort of responsibility mean to you?
It means a lot to me. When I started playing, I could never imagine I would be where I am today. But I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot of hard work and
for sure
dedication, to achieve all this. And but yeah, it feels great to be able to be in the position I am right now and get some extra power and ability to speak about poker and hopefully improve the future of the game.
Very cool. Both in Sweden and the rest of the world, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Not only in Sweden, but worldwide. I'm the world champion, and that comes with a lot of...
That must feel really cool to say that.
Does,
I'm the world champion.
We'll never get old.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, there's only one little wrinkle about the whole Sweden thing. Obviously, you're posing for pictures with the Swedish flags and everything. But like many other top European poker pros, you live in London for tax purposes, and obviously this makes a lot of sense. And everyone knows that Sweden is very aggressive with their taxation. Even today, I heard that Felix Stevenson, the runner-up, he's being pursued by Norway in a similar way, even though he lives in London as well. What are your feelings about that? That kind of a move.
No, I think it's really sad that I was kind of forced to move to London if I wanted to keep playing poker, because it really wasn't sustainable with the tax laws as they were in Sweden at the time. Quite recently, they actually changed it, so it's a little bit better now. Most of my friends still live in Sweden, and they pay their taxes now because it's reasonable. But the problem before was that poker went under the lottery law, which says that you should pay taxes straight on winnings without the ability to deduct losses. So basically, so you can imagine what that means. So you could win, basically, if you win 100,000 in a day, and you lose it an hour later, you still got to pay
The taxes on the
taxes,
100,000.
the 100,000.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is pretty brutal. That's a bad beat, I guess. Right? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, I guess it's definitely understandable, but hopefully, like you said, you're in a position of power that, as a spokesperson, maybe there's something that you could do. Maybe you'll even be called into the parliament one day and speak on behalf of professional poker players. You never know.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, very cool. Another Swedish poker player that fans of the game are probably familiar with is high stakes cash game player Victor Blom. He's known as Isildur. Obviously, you've played online as well. Are the two of you friendly? You've met before.
Yeah, we met a couple times. We're definitely friendly. Victor's a really fun guy, but I haven't seen him in a while now. I don't think he plays as many tournaments anymore, and I don't play cash games. So plus London is a really big city. Like we don't necessarily hang out too much there. But from what I understand, he still plays the highest cash games.
Right. So you're going to be sticking to tournaments, though. I take it.
I will be sticking to tournaments. Yeah.
Right. Okay. You got to stick with what you're good at. Okay, so we're gonna shift gears from the Swedish topic. Gotta switch gears at the poker table. Right? Among the first things that you said after winning is that you were very proud to have the chance to be an ambassador for poker, and you could really represent the professionals very well, the guys who take the game seriously. Why do you think ambassadorship is an important thing, and what do you hope to accomplish as an ambassador?
I think it's important because, like in anything, you need sort of, I don't want to call myself a role model, but you need people that take things seriously and that can set great examples for how you should approach things as a professional.
Right.
I think
clearly,
yeah, I think that since poker is related to gambling, people, even professional players, have a hard time admitting how much skill is involved and how much is luck and how much is coincidences.
Right.
But just like anything, preparation and hard work is gonna increase your winnings and success significantly. So I will count.
For sure, and you were an example of that. You did like so much preparation during those 4 months.
That's why I was so happy. Yeah, it worked out the way it did, and I mean, it couldn't. I couldn't have scripted it better, to be honest. Like it was amazing.
It was definitely a really great story to watch on the so obviously you've made as an ambassador now, you've made a lot of effort to be available to dozens of media outlets, both in the mainstream as well as in the poker industry, like right here on Cardplayer Lifestyle. And again, thank you again for giving us the time. But I got to ask you, you're a high roller, you're an expert poker player, a high level thinker. Would you find some of the more mainstream interviews to be a little frustrating? I mean, you got asked on CNBC, what is a flop, pretty much. It's like, how do you deal with something like that?
I think it's important to just be prepared for whatever questions, and remember that not everyone knows as much about the game as I do, or people who's in my position and has been playing the game for so many years now.
Right.
I think it's kind of refreshing actually to hear people speak about poker in a more amateur way, and to see them showing interest in the game and want to know more about it. It's it's all fun. It's not frustrating at all.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I got to ask then, do you obviously do this as a professional, you go around the world and playing the high stakes. Do you sort of miss the home games a little bit, or do you even have a home game still, maybe?
No, I wish, I hopefully one day I'll go back to the home games, playing with friends for fun.
For a few crown, right?
Time to time, when we get bored in Vegas during the nights, we play some home games. I even try some mixed games, even though I don't I don't regularly play them, but it's always fun to learn new games and new thinking in
Hmm.
poker.
For sure. Well, I mean, you've played a lot of live poker, both in Europe and and in the States. Would you say that there's a major difference maybe between the playing styles, from your experience, between Europeans and Americans? Maybe like in America, it's more an issue of presence and personality that makes a difference while you're playing, or it's pretty much the same across the board.
No, I would actually agree. I think there is a clear difference in the styles between Europeans and American players,
Hmm.
just in general.
Anything you can pinpoint,
Yeah,
maybe?
it's actually it's interesting because I feel like every nation has their own style, like general,
Right.
obviously very generally speaking, but you
Hmm.
can kind of see the patterns that certain players has in their game, depending on where they're from. So I would
Right.
say in America, there's the approach is more conservative towards the
Hmm.
game. It's kind of more ABC. From
Aha.
I'm not talking about the pros now. I'm talking about
Right.
like general. But while in Europe, more willingness to gamble and take bigger risk. People pulling up
Interesting.
massive bluffs. Well,
Even from amateurs, you're saying.
from amateur perspective,
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
But I
that's really
think
interesting.
that's yeah. You have the Italians and the French. They're very emotional and passionate. So and they're not afraid, to move all in with nothing every once in a while.
Right. That's
So
pretty well. So, I mean, that final table must have been, pretty crazy. There a lot, like 6 different nations were represented. So, you got all your Norwegian hat on and your Brazilian hat on. So I guess
yeah,
that was part of
yeah,
your
it was
preparation.
fun. Yeah, that was it was a big variety of
Hmm.
nations coming together
Hmm.
and competing for such a big prize.
Right. Okay. So, okay, big prize. You're 27 years old. You just won $10 million in the most prestigious poker tournament in the world, and obviously you've got your whole life ahead of you. So, for the sake of comparison, let's just take a lottery winner. Obviously, a lottery winner, many not obviously, well, many lottery winners will just ride off into the sunset. So, you know, why not retire? Maybe at this point, $10 million in the bank, $15 million in the bank now, and the maybe your hunger for winning has died down a little bit. What would it take to motivate you to keep playing poker? I mean, I know you mentioned maybe learning new mixed games.
Well, for me, it was never about the money.
Really? Oh.
As it may sound, I'm just I didn't start playing poker to become a millionaire or to make a lot of money.
Hmm.
Maybe if I could just make enough money, to live off it,
Hmm.
um, that was kind of more than enough for me. I just had
Right.
such a strong passion for the game,
That's
and
cool.
I think that's one of the recipes, for success. Because if you're focusing too much about the money,
Hmm.
it's just going to put too much stress on you, and
Hmm.
it's not going to necessarily benefit you when you're making decisions that are based on plays.
Hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Well, so obviously, I guess you're going to keep maintaining that passion that money's no longer an issue.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, just like final topic, I guess, TV ratings, on ESPN, were down for the main event. Hardcore poker fans are still tuning in, but, more casual fans, the kind of people who were started really tuning in around the Moneymaker boom, they can't really name the last few main event champions and much less, the November Niners. It's the audience has changed or a lot of people have gone away. So possibly for fewer reasons, for the same reasons that fewer pros are even getting sponsorship these days if the viewership is declining. So, I got to ask you, what do you think needs to happen in order for the game to start growing again and attracting new players? And, even those players, they like it, but got to bring them back and start watching and being involved again.
Oh, it's a very, very tough question.
That's why we saved it for last.
Yeah. I think probably Black Friday had a big part to do with the drop. Poker poker doesn't. Well, it's illegal in online poker is illegal in America. So,
right, except for the 3 states, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Nevada, New Jersey,
a few
and
exceptions,
Delaware.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that picture, when Black Friday happened, all the negative headlines that day, it's just still kind of painted on people's in their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's still sort of fresh in their memory that poker is illegal. And
so you're saying it's more of like online poker needs to really take off to bring people back. That's what you're saying?
I think it would definitely be a huge boost for poker.
Mm-hmm.
If it became more acceptable again and legal.
Back to the old days.
Every state.
Right. Well, do you think that like you're from Sweden? Do you think that there's, as a champion now, a role that you could play in this to, whether it's in the United States or other countries where it's not regulated and not licensed yet? Do you think that you have any sort of way that you could help influence it and push it in the right direction?
I would like to think so. Unfortunately, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, obviously we hope that you can, and obviously you seem to be a great ambassador for poker. So, I really want to thank you very much, Martin, for taking the time to spend with us here at Cardplayer Lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Martin Jacobson, winner of the 2014 World Series of Poker main event, and clearly, along with Volvo and IKEA, one of Sweden's finest exports. So thank you very much for your time, Martin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.